Tottenham TV. Spurs have just got absolutely annihilated by Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium by 6-3. I'm here with Amir, who had to endure that painful 90 minutes. It was just absolutely shocking. It really was. I question the decision to play the exact same lineup as we did on Thursday night with the effort that was put in. I was worried coming into this game because we know the injuries that Spurs have here. We know how out on our feet we are at the moment, and we know how fresh Liverpool were coming into it. That's the excuses out of the way, but there's no excuses here to put in a performance as bad as that was today, because every time Liverpool went forward, they looked like they were going to score. Gaping holes in the midfield, gaping holes at the back. Our right-back slot, Pedro Porro, was pretty much nowhere to be seen every time Liverpool were attacking. It was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing the way that Liverpool were able to create as many chances as they did. You're looking at the stats, right? Liverpool created an XG of 4.54. They had 9 big chances in the game. They had 24 shots on goal, and they had 12 shots on target. 9 big chances in the game, and they've only scored 6 of them. So that shows you that Spurs got away with one here, just conceding 6 goals. We were absolutely embarrassing. We really were. And, you know, it's really hard one to take. And I know there are a few excuses in terms of the state of the squad, in terms of the injuries, in terms of how tired everyone is. But that doesn't account for what happened on that pitch. That doesn't account for that at all. No. You cannot be so bad defensively, so poor, and even going forward, particularly in the first half or the first hour of the game. We were attacking. The players were isolated up front. They were attacking singly, like there was no one going forward to help. So if Angeball is this, right? If Angeball is this, where we're so open at the back, you've got to be dangerous going forward the other way. And yeah, I know we scored 3 goals today, but we weren't dangerous enough by any stretch of the imagination, and we weren't attacking in numbers. We weren't pressing well. I thought there were problems in 3 areas of the pitch. I thought there were problems up front with the pressing, the midfield, gaping holes, not winning the second balls. Every time Liverpool won that second ball, they went on to create a chance. And at the back, we were just at 6s and 7s. We were just completely open every single time. And look, that scoreline flattered us today. And we've conceded 6 goals at home to a very good Liverpool side. I'm not going to lie, but it was men against boys out there. There are levels, so many levels between these two sides at the moment. It's absolutely crazy. And look, we got what we deserved today in terms of the way we played. But Amir, what are you saying?
I'll just sum it up for you in one word. We got a humbling today.
Yeah,
a humbling. And that's what it was. You know, we were flying high from United through to a semi-final, and we've just been humbled by this Liverpool side, who have come here. And yeah, we've had injuries, and yeah, we're not as fresh as them. But to put in that kind of tired, weak, meek performance, it's really, really frustrating. And honestly, you know, you can look at some of the mitigating factors, the injuries, the fact that we played Thursday night in a huge game, which is all well and true. But I'm looking at my main man. I'm looking at the gaffer to manage that situation, manage it, whether that's bringing in younger players, whether that's managing minutes, whether that's giving other players a chance. I don't know, but I'm looking for my gaffer to manage that situation. And personally, I don't think he's done very well. I'll be quite honest with you. And I like the man. I like Ange. I want him around. I want him at the club. But I feel like if you go that open against a side like Liverpool, when you can't even beat Ipswich, Bournemouth and a Palace, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for trouble. And I just think that if he doesn't start tweaking his tactics, his approach to games, the way we set up, if he just goes the same every time, week in, week out, I don't think he's going to be here very long then. That's my fear.
And like I said before, the excuses coming into this game about the injuries and 10 injuries, they are valid, because I don't know another team that can probably handle the amount of injuries that we have, and Newcastle had loads of injuries, and you know, Newcastle are sitting there similar spot to us. They had a terrible season last year, Newcastle, with the injuries that they had. But look, I get the excuse about the injuries and I get the excuse about players being tired. But if that's the case, then change something. Change something on the pitch. Change the way we play. Don't just wait to die, because that's what we did today. We just waited to die.
Lambs to the slaughter, wasn't
We
it?
just waited to die. And you saw how leggy the players were for pretty much minute one. You're coming up against a fresh, rampant Liverpool side who are the best team in the league and probably been the best team in the Champions League this season. So you're playing a very, very good footballing side. So if you are playing that good of a footballing side, then you've got to err on the side of a bit of a side of caution, man. You can't just keep playing the way that we've been playing all season and expect a good result to come, because it's not going to come.
No.
That's the reality.
No. That is the reality. And look, unfortunately, Ben, I do think the way Ange sets us up, it's kind of like a coin toss, you know, every game. You flip that coin, how are we going to play? It can go this way, it can go that way. Occasionally you get those performances where we rock up to a City or a Villa and we absolutely blow them out of the water. But more times than not, we will concede an opening goal, and then we're chasing games from there. And this whole thing of, you know, we're going to outscore you, I don't think that's that's
sustainable.
not sustainable, feasible in the Prem. It's not. It's just simply not over 38 games. So I'm really hoping that he starts to change things a little bit and tweak things a little bit. And, you know, how strange would it have been if you had seen that lineup today? You would have seen Fife at the back or something like that. Oh, that's different. Well, that would
just
be
some
interesting.
Set them up a bit more compact. Make it hard to deal. Make it hard to play through.
Yeah.
The reality was
Yeah.
they didn't even need to play that well today to score and create those chances against us. We were in self-destruct mode for pretty much the whole game.
This is how easy it was for Liverpool to attack us. We lose the ball. They win it back. They play it back to Alisson. Alisson hoofs the ball all the way up top to a Gakpo or whatever to take it down, and they're in.
Yeah.
They're in. It just doesn't work, this type of defending in the Premier League against top sides. It just does not work. And if they were more clinical, they could have got 9 or 10 today, to be perfectly honest. Very, very frustrating afternoon. But I do think there is a lot to learn from this match.
What can we learn? What do we learn from this match?
We learned that in January, we need to buy top quality players, because
We've learned
Liverpool...
that from this match.
What's that?
We don't learn that from this match. We've learned that from years and years of failure of this ownership, and we've learned this. We should have been learning this week in, week out.
A long time ago.
Week in, week out. We should have learned this last season.
100%. 100%. But I'm looking now to the ownership, to the board, to pull their finger out and to do something this January. Because if we don't, we're just going to keep sliding down. You think to where this Pochettino team was at, when we were flying high, we were almost challenging for the league, we were in a Champions League final. And now teams like Newcastle, Villa, Nottingham Forest, they're all above us. Brighton, all above us.
Yeah.
Not to even mention the other big sides lurking in the Prem. So, really frustrating afternoon. And I'm just hoping Ange will finally tweak things, because surely he can't watch that and think that we can go forward like this the rest of the season and get somewhere.
What's going on? What's going on with Destiny? Because Ange said before the Manchester United game, Destiny will be able to play one of these two games. He wasn't on the bench against Man United. Fair enough. He's probably not ready to play. On the bench today, Pedro Porro is putting in stinkers week in, week out, leaving a gaping hole on that right-hand side. Like, surely if he's on the bench, he's able to play some of the game. He didn't come on at all today.
He didn't come on.
He didn't come on at all today. Pedro Porro has been playing shockingly for ages now. Whether it's confidence, whether it's tiredness, whatever it is, he needs to come out of the team. He needs a prolonged rest period, because, like I keep saying, the more we play him, the more risk of injury is, because he's clearly out on his feet at the moment.
I'll be honest with you. I've said this for a while about
He
Porro.
leaves a gaping hole on that right-hand side.
I don't think he's a right back. I don't think he's a right back. He's a right wing back, and I think he'd even be better playing higher up the pitch. He'd be better off where Johnson is playing on the right on the right wing. I don't think he's a defender. I don't think he can defend. I don't think the way he even his footballing mind is switched on to defending. He lets players go. It's a travesty at the moment the way Porro's playing. His defensive side of things. It's just absolutely shocking, scandalous. Scandalous.
I thought Decky and Son pretty much played really poor on the wings today. Decky, I thought when he moved into the middle of the park, he actually started playing.
He was better second
really
half.
good when he actually moved into the middle of the park, started asking questions of that Liverpool defence.
And it was a good finish for the third as well. Very good volley.
Archie Gray, I mean, I felt for Archie today because, look, he's an 18-year-old filling in a position which he should never be filling in. No. And he came unstuck today. That's the reality.
But again, are you looking to your main man, Ange? Maybe it would have been better playing Dorrington and playing Gray instead of Porro. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm saying, if you don't make the changes, then you can't ever, you don't know.
Yeah. Spence
was good.
Probably kept the score down to 6, to be honest. I thought Spence played well at left back today. Another good performance from him. And he must be looking around and looking at the players around him being like, how am I only just getting into the team now?
And wasn't he in Italy? Hasn't he seen how they defend over there? He must be thinking, what is going on in this team? Because how you can allow, how many did you say, 9 big chances?
Yeah.
We've given them 9 big
At
chances
home.
at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
That was just so easy, though, for Liverpool. Like, I've never seen an easier game that Liverpool have had this season. Liverpool have been brilliant this season, all throughout the season. Yeah. So consistent. And they've never scored more than 3 goals. They've come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and made it their playground. Boys against men.
It was boys against men.
It was boys against men.
It was.
Like, it was embarrassing. From minute 1 right away, all the way to the end of the game, that was completely embarrassing today and nowhere near good enough. We were not at the races. No. We were not at the races, and we've got this team in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. For all the people that have ambitions to win a cup this season, if that's anything to go by,
we haven't got a chance.
What are we supposed to do? We've got no chance. This team are levels and levels and levels and levels and levels above us. We're nowhere near good enough to compete with them right now.
Not just the team, the squads. The squads are miles apart. Completely miles apart.
Yeah.
They're bringing on Diego Jota, we're bringing on Timo Werner.
Yeah. And that's the reality. And I don't know. I don't know what to say because you're looking at it now. A 6-3 humbling at home, which should never be happening against anyone. I don't care who we're playing. We should not be conceded 6 goals, never. 9 big chances at home.
Never in a million years
does this have a reflection, and does this result have a bearing and a consequence for Ange Postecoglou?
All the results have a bearing on Ange. This one in particular will
it make the hierarchy think?
The hierarchy, no. More fans will be Ange out there. The hierarchy, this won't be the one that will
because you look at it,
break the camel's back.
I look back at when AVB got sacked, and we were not having too dissimilar results than we're having now on a consistent basis, and it was that game, Liverpool at home, when we lost 4-0. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Is when you get a humbling, because we haven't been battered this season. Whatever you want to say about Spurs, when we lose, we usually lose by 1 goal. This is an absolute humbling and an absolute batter. We've got our arses handed to us today. So does this make the hierarchy think?
I don't think so. Not quite yet, Ben. I think if we got dumped out of Europe and we're out of the Carabao Cup and we've got a tough draw in the FA Cup going forward, then I can see him getting the boot. But I think they'll give him the cup competitions for now to see if he can see if these, mad tactics of gun-ho football can win us a trophy. I highly doubt it at this point, but let's see. I don't know. I really don't know where we go from here, Ben, because it's not looking good for Tottenham, and it's really not looking good for Ange Postecoglou, I would say, at the moment.
And it's not just this one now. You got Liverpool just absolutely battered us just now. Could have been a lot more. We go Nottingham Forest away from home next.
And then Wolves, who just beat Leicester 3-0 away.
Nottingham Forest are 4th in the league now. They're 4th in the league on 31 points. Only 2 points behind Arsenal in 3rd, with Nuno Espirito Santo. They are a very, very difficult team to play. And if we go up there with that same attitude that we showed on the pitch today,
getting beaten easily.
we're going to get battered up there.
Battered.
So when does it end?
I don't know, mate. It's a really frustrating situation to be in, because where do we go? Really, where do we go from here?
It's not good enough. It's not good enough from everyone, from the players to the manager to the ownership. I hope the fans made their voices loud and proud and heard today in the protest and in the stadium and stuff today, because it needs to be said, it needs to be made known, and it needs to be loud.
Yeah.
And the last couple of games I've been to, the Man United game, the Southampton game, the voices have been heard, but it needs to be carry on. It needs to be a constant. It needs to be a constant.
A pressure needs to be applied at the right places at the top of this club.
Yeah.
Because do you know what? 23 years of failure at the top level would be enough in any other form of business or anything for them to go. The problem is we're stuck with them until a buyer is found.
Yeah. And that's the reality. But look, it's a really hard one to take. As much as I didn't come into it thinking we're going to win,
I thought we might nick a draw, Ben.
But either way, right, to lose to Liverpool is not a disgrace, but it's the manner of the loss. It's the manner of it. How can you concede 6 and 9 big chances at home? How?
Yeah. Yep.
No matter who you play against, it's nowhere near good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. And big questions need to be asked. Big questions need to be asked.
And here's the thing, right, as well. If we can be so good attacking, can we not just be a little bit less than that, but good at defending as well? Is that impossible to do in a team that can attack and defend?
We weren't even good. I know we scored 3 goals. We weren't even good going forward today.
No, we weren't.
People were attacking. I mean, the pressing was poor. Didn't pick up our second balls. When we were attacking, it was just isolated players up front with no options. It was just shocking. It was just absolutely shocking. Our passing's been shocking for weeks, months even. Bissouma was nowhere to be seen in the middle of the park. Porro was nowhere to be seen at right back. I mean, it was just all over the show today. It was all over the show. And look, we had some good wins against Southampton and Manchester United, but the past year of results have been clearly not good enough. Clearly not good enough. And something needs to change, and something needs to change very quickly, because this season is just going to peter out very quickly. And yeah, I know we're sitting 11th in the league and saying, what season? The season's petered out already, but we are still in Europe. We are still in the Carabao Cup semi-final, who we got this opposition to play. Yep. And we still got the FA Cup to come around. Yep. So
we're still
something can be salvaged here. Something can be salvaged here, and something needs to happen.
Agreed.
But that is it. That is our match reaction from the embarrassment that was Liverpool today, 6-3 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And we're going to move on to the fan show up next, where it's your chance to have your say on the game. And